thanks for coming up to join us here. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. It's a privilege to be here.
Now, your predecessor, Stacey Alister, did a great job, but it was a sudden departure. How have you become the top man in women's tennis? And tell us a little about your background.
Sure. Well, it was a surprise for everybody, obviously, when Stace decided that she wanted to take a step back and spend more time with her family and all, which is understandable. She has 2 young children. It's a very demanding job. And I actually applaud her for wanting to make that decision. I think it's great, because family always comes first. Obviously, I've been in Indian Wells for a long time, for 27 years.
As the tournament director.
And so I wasn't looking to make any change, but I had been involved with the WTA for years as a board member. And a couple days after Stacey had decided to step back and made her announcement, the board called me and asked me if I would be interested in the position. I wasn't expecting for that to happen. But when they did, I said I would take a serious look at it and make a quick decision because there needs to be continuity in the position, and if I didn't want to do it, they needed to get in the marketplace. And you know, there aren't too many times in a career where you have the opportunity or the platform to come in and hopefully create change that would better not only the business but the sport. And to not do that, I would think I would have had regrets. So based upon that, I've decided to jump in, and I'm excited about it.
Now, CEOs normally talk about their first 100 days. What are your priorities?
Well, I'm getting through my first 14 days right now. But no, I think the priority is obviously I'm in the midst of transitioning from my responsibilities in Indian Wells, and I'll be taking over 100% focus at the end of November and balancing my time as best as I can. The initial focus that I'm going to get in is obviously making sure that I get the organization set up in a manner that it can operate efficiently and take care of our product that we have today. And then some immediate things we have to start looking at is we do have some schedule issues, calendar issues that have to be looked at that I think some can be addressed quickly, others are going to be long term. But the focus is going to be on creating a structure that allows us to deliver a consistent product, a premium product on a consistent basis, and in a manner that allows us to keep our athletes as healthy as we possibly can.
And what about the finances? Because it's been quite a few years now since the tour has had a title sponsor. Are you going to take an immediate look at that situation?
Well, there's an ongoing look. There are, a lot of great conversations going on, and I think with some of the evolution of this business that we want to go through, I do think we will get one. It's not if, it's going to be when. But fortunately, the tour left by Stacey, to her credit, is in a good position. Certainly everyone likes more sponsorship, and we would too.
Well, if you can see behind us, there's a tennis ball on the net. We'd like to see a sponsor's logo there,
exactly,
wouldn't we?
Exactly, and we'll get there. We're in a good place.
Now, you said that you were going to take a broad counsel in the next few months about talking to top players, ex-players, people around the game. Have you had any interesting conversations so far? We've
had some very good conversations, and I think there's a lot of alignment in what I want to try to do with respect to really truly getting a premium product out there and streamlining things in a sense that we could deliver that on a consistent basis, as well as provide a clear pathway to get there for the young players coming up as well, which is critical because that's our future. So I found the conversations very, very informative, very good, very progressive. And it's about understanding everybody's perspective. And if you understand their perspective and respect it, you can begin making balanced decisions, and that's what we have to start doing.
Have you had any conversations that have surprised you?
No, I haven't had any that have surprised me. I've been around long enough that I haven't found too many of those, but I'm sure there will be some of those. You can always get surprised. But what I'm finding is that the players and the tournaments I'm speaking to and the coaches and the agents, there is a common goal to get this and get this right. Obviously, the predecessors have left us in a great spot, but there's always ways to take it to the next level. And what's great is that there seems to be a common vision, and now we have to put the structure around it and see if we can make it happen.
Coming into this WTA finals, it's gone very well last year and this year, but without, in terms of the top 4 women, Serena isn't here, she has an elbow injury. Maria had only played 1 set since Wimbledon.
Right.
Petra's had mono, and Simona Halep has had an Achilles injury for the last 6 weeks, and she certainly was short of fitness. That's your top 4 women coming into the end of the season, your premium product, really struggling, and that is very tough on the fans. I mean, is how can you ensure, I mean, you can't ensure it, but how can you do everything possible that we're not sitting here next year with the best players not coming in great shape?
Well, clearly there isn't a professional sport or a tour or a league that goes over the course of the year that the players are 100% at the end of the year, okay? We have a responsibility to put a schedule and a calendar together that gives them the best opportunity to be healthy. Some of the, and when we have our calendar right now, we have some tough spots in it, especially in the spring, but from the US Open here to the championships is a very difficult window. That being said, there's also some bad luck involved. I mean, you talk about Maria. Well, that didn't happen. That happened early in the year and was a long-term injury. That's going to happen in sport. I can't deal with mono. That's something that's going to happen out there. But what we have a responsibility to do is to put the best calendar in place that we can and provide them the best chance to get through the year healthy. And I don't think the calendar does that today, but we have to make those changes and improve upon that.
In terms of player access, is that something you might look at? We've been here an entire week and we've put in many requests to have the players up here or try and get them off for a one-on-one interview. And unfortunately, we've drawn blanks so far. We're trying to promote the sport. I think it would be good for the players, it would be good for us. Is that, as a little request from the media side, is that something that you would look at?
Yeah, no, it's a fair request. I think we have to be open at looking at all of that. You need to have access. It needs to be done properly. It needs to be done in respect to what they have to do on the court, which you guys respect. But we need to find, again, that balanced decision and understand the perspectives. And it is something that we are going to address, because without access, it's hard for me to make fans or for you to promote our sport. So we need to work together on that, for sure.
Yes, certainly. You know, I'm a former player, not to this level, and I certainly know that when you're asked for an interview and you're absolutely exhausted, it is tough and balance. But I don't want players up here who don't want to be up here. But we'd love them to, look forward to it and embrace it maybe a little bit more, as the men seem to embrace it a little more.
Yeah. No, I think we have to work on it. I mean, it's clear, and I do think that they're open to it. We just have to do it right, and again, balanced, as you mentioned. But we have to provide access to them, and we need for them to do it.
I think in the media we have one other person. Well, we've got you here, Steve.
Let them go. Let them go.
The most conversation between commentators and presenters and everything is player name pronunciation. A player's name is fundamental. You're talking about your premium product.
Yeah.
We've got to get the name right. It's the banner. And at the moment we're having the great Muguruza debate. And then when we get it right, the player may go to a press conference and go, no, I want to be called in another way. I want to be called as they call me in my home country. Is there something? I mean, I think that's a very simple thing to get right. And we've been calling it for years, for it for the players to, when they come on the tour, to say, my name is Gabinye Muguruza, and that's set in stone. Can we make a little plea here if you can get that sorted out?
Well, your plea is heard. We are dealing with individuals and human beings, and I can't tell you when they've decided to change their moniker or their pronunciation, but what you say makes sense for a consistency basis, and there's nothing worse than having your name mispronounced. So out of respect, we should work on that. I take your plea on board.
Well, Steve, I'm not going to hammer you.
That's okay.
Longer.
You can hammer all you want.
Thank you very much. I'm feeling very reassured and balanced, actually.
Yeah,
I like the way you use that word.
We have to be balanced.
No, I wish you the best for the rest of the championships and for your hopefully long tenure at the WTA.
I hope to be here a long time, but thank you very much. Appreciate
Lovely
it.
to have you.
Good.